All right, team. What we're going to do now is I'm just going to set up the repository, create the relevant branches in the repository. I will then create the pipeline in Heroku and link that to our GitHub repository. And then I'll just contain that as one video. So we start off by creating a new repository. And then I'd like to use the Code Institute full template. I would like to give it a name, and we are calling it Safe Havens. Good, it's available. Tetracore Hackathon Safe Havens Pride Project June 2021. Still have more information later on. And actually, yeah, I'll leave that as it is. Create repository. And slowly but surely, we have that. Now, what we have here is a master branch. Now, I don't want to work on the master branch. That has to be our clean code, so the code that we can trust. What I want to do is create my own development branch. I'm going to call it gaf_dev. That is now my development branch. Press return. Create branch from master. Yeah, click on that. That should be okay. And there we go with gaf_dev and with master. Now, I'm going to be bold and I'm going to create head_dev as well. And I'm also going to create amy_dev. We now have one development branch each. So we work on the development branches and we work on the code locally. We push it to GitHub. Then when we're done with a feature, a function, or use case, and it works locally, we then initiate a pull request, which when approved, that's a test by one of our colleagues, approved, it will then merge our development branch with the master branch. So I'm going to go back to my gaf_dev branch there. That's the one that I'll be using as my primary branch. So you see we have 4 branches now. That's good. I then go to Heroku. So I've logged into Heroku and I'm going to go to new to create a pipeline. Why? Because I want to have a review application, a staging application, and a production application. So in terms of the continuous delivery and continuous integration, our development branches will be connected to the review application for test. Our master branch is going to be connected to the staging application on Heroku. And then when we're all done with all the system testing, then we make sure everything works, we can then manually migrate that to production. So I'm going to create a pipeline. I want to give it a name and hopefully Safe Havens exists. We can use that. Yeah, so Safe Havens is good. Actually, I think seem to recall it doesn't like capital letters now. Or does it? Yeah, okay, let's start. Let's do this. Let's call it Safe Havens. I will add you as owner as well. We want to connect to a repo name. We call it Safe Havens. So safe, search. There we go. Connect. And then create pipeline. So we are now at the stage where we have the review apps. So this we can enable, which we do. We want to do that. So I click enable review. And we then get this here. So create new review apps for new pull requests automatically. And that's what we want. So that whenever we create a pull request, what will happen is that Heroku will immediately create a review application on Heroku using our development branch code and give us a dynamic URL that we can use into test. We don't need to wait for CI to pass, destroy stale reviews. So what happens is once we're done with the pull request, it will actually destroy the app, but sometimes they can linger for a while. So we don't want that, but we can leave that as it is. United States, we want to be in Europe. I don't want to move that out of the way, and then do enable review apps. So what we've done now is very simply enable the review apps. Good. And we can then later on, or maybe even now, we can configure it if we want to add additional settings. So we are going to go into here. We are going to add some of the configuration variables that we need that are going to be unique for this environment. I'm just going to leave that as it is now. I'm going to go back to the pipeline. Staging, we want to add application. I'm going to call it safe events staging. So I'm going to use that name then, so we know that we're working with the staging application. It's available. We want to make sure we're in Europe, and we want to create application. There we go. And then for the production application, again, we want to call this one safe events. Create new app. It's available. We want to stage it in Europe. I want to create application. So what we've done now, very simply, is we created a pipeline. And a pipeline is just a fancy way of saying it's a workflow. So we have our review applications for our, when we create pull requests using our development code, so we can do unit testing or test that particular feature and function. Staging, then once the pull request is approved, our development branch code is merged with the master branch code, which then automatically deploys to the staging application. And then once we've done all the system testing, integration testing, making sure all our components work together, we can then migrate that manually to production. Now, I want to just have a look at this application because I want to make sure that we go to deploy. It's connected. It is automatic deploy. So I want to enable automatic deploys, and I want to link it to the master branch. So enable automatic deploys. That's good. Let's go back to our pipeline. Let me see if there's something we can do. Configure, more settings. Should be okay. Okay, so we are going to go back to updating this later on, but at the moment, we're happy as it is. So essentially, that's all we need to do with regards to configuring GitHub and Heroku. Now, I'm going to add you to my GitHub repository. I'm also going to add you to the Heroku pipeline, but I will save that for another video. Okay, bye-bye.